For the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the only Angels postgame show that keeps it real, win or lose. No filters, no fluff, just raw reactions right after the final out. The Golden Stamos is polished up and somebody's about to take it home. A clutch hit, a game-saving grab, or just straight up hustle. We see you. But if you played like trash, you're getting the dreaded Nacho Night Award. We saw the missed calls, we saw the blown saves, the clutch moments, and the disasters too. Your comments are front and center, and yeah, we read all of them. Wanna let loose? Call in and sound off live. No scripts, no suits, no spin. This is raw, this is real, this is where the fans take over. This is the Heady Postgame Show with Todd Fox. For the fans, by the fans.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hell yeah. Hey, welcome into another episode of the Halos in the Infield postgame show. As you know, they've been going irregular as the season has gone along, at least in this last month of September, as football has started and the Angels packed up their bags. And we're going on vacation a little early, so we decided for the first time in our history, if they didn't give a funk, we didn't give a funk. But tonight, they gave us a little bit of hopium with a win tonight to get to 71 and 80. What is it? 87, I want to say right now. 71. Hold on, I had it just now. 71 and 87. Yes, 38 and 39 at home. The Angels win. Kenley Jansen comes out there and gets his 28th save. Angels 3 runs, 6 hits. 2 runs, 2 hits, 3 errors. Again, you had all kinds of issues there. Ray Montgomery pulling Kikuchi way too early in this one. Luckily, the Angels were able to hold on with good bullpen pitching. You had Fermin with an inning, Silseth with an inning. He did give up a run, but you had Garcia, nice inning there. Also, Kenley Jansen, but 5 solid innings for Kikuchi. Only 66 pitches thrown, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. The Angels did something without Mike Trout tonight, and that is not strike out 10 times. They kept it to single digits, only 6 strikeouts. They worked 3 walks. Again, way too little, way too late. A little bit better in the box for most of these hitters here tonight. But the Angels take the victory at least, and were able to celebrate a little bit as, again, winning tonight is not everything. Obviously, the season is over. Kansas City's season is over as well. They're at 79 and 79, a little bit of disappointment after last year's success. So it is, you take it with a grain of salt either way. But you look at it right now, and the Angels, in a division where we thought it was going to come down to Seattle or possibly Texas winning the division. You guys are talking about it here in the comments here that the Mariners have clinched tonight, and it's crazy because the Mariners started off really, really bad this year, and you thought, crap, they're not gonna. Well, you didn't think crap, but you were just like, crap. Well, maybe you were crap because you were thinking Houston, not again. Houston can't do it again. You want to see this team get eliminated. We're all tired of the Astros. And the Astros actually came through and came through in the clutch, which is blowing it in the clutch. A lot of teams are blowing it down the season ending of September. If you look at Detroit's fallen on its ass. They are now a game out of first place. The shit fucks of all teams from Ohio are now in first place. You got the Mets on the verge of collapse. The Toronto Blue Jays are blowing away the East as they took that sucker over before the All-Star game, going on quite the run. Now the Blue Jays are fighting for their lives, now tied with the Yankees for first place. There's all kinds of crap going on, and yet we're the Angels. That's the frustrating thing. The biggest news that came out today is that now the family of Skaggs initially asked for $284 million. It can go as high as 785 million. I was going to say billion. $785 million is now what they're shooting for. So that's the Angels news. What I love talking about Angels baseball and what's on the field and them potentially getting to the postseason and them, having a magic number and coming down to the final 4 games of the season, because it looks like we're going to have 3 divisions be, or at least 2 divisions and some wild card positioning in the last 4 games being decided here by teams that aren't in the post. Because right now, as it looks like right now, with Houston losing, the Angels could play a factor. And the only factor would be them screwing up the Astros' opportunity to make it to the playoffs. Because right now it looks like the Mariners won the division, and now the only hope now is for the Astros to sneak in a wild card to either knock off Detroit or the shitfucks of Ohio. So with that being said, the Angels can still play a factor in this year's playoffs on the outside looking in as a spoiler, but will they? Will they? And that's yet to be seen. I would hate for them to roll over and help Houston get into the postseason. I would love nothing more than at least to take them out. How much is Artie Moreno worth? There's varying reports between $5 and $6 billion. But if he loses $785 million to, well, the Skaggs family, then you're talking about another 785 to potentially $2.1 billion on a stadium pretty much rebuild. Yeah, that pretty much drains him, which would make sense if he were to turn it over to somebody else at that point. Kyle Raleigh, Mr. Dumper, hit 2 more home runs. Thank you to Dan Rios and also Tamir 20 filling us in there, as he's up to 60 home runs. Did any of you have that guy on your bingo card for 60 home runs this year? Because if you did, you should be gambling in Vegas, not being on here. That's for damn sure. But wow, what a goddamn season for the Mariners and for him. So what a tough year for the Angels, as we're going to be wrapping it up here in just a few days. And I got to let you guys and gals know that this Saturday, we just posted it, we will have what is it called, the last tailgate of the year with pizza in there at discounted prices, beer at discounted prices. We'll be at Bruheim doing a live roundtable where you can get your questions and comments in live, as we'll be discussing what went right, which is very little, and what went completely ass backwards for the Angels this season. So if you want to come down, kick it, there's lounge chairs, there's couches, there's everything. Bruheim is the spot to be to kick it and have a good time. Also, Top Fan Rivalry reached out to me today, and we are going to have round 2 of our baseball/softball tournament. It's really softball. We're going to do another softball tournament on the 25th of October. So mark your calendars there. We'll have another sign up for that. You could register there and get your shirts and all that other junk that we're going to be doing, possibly some more stuff with that. So keep that in mind. So what can I say about tonight's game other than you had Neto in the booth? You had a home run by our boy Taylor Ward, and the Angels won 3-2 in a nail biter. Kikuchi, we'll talk about him as far as on the roundtable. Did he reach your expectations? Was he what you thought he was going to be? Could he have been better? We'll talk about that. He definitely had his ups and downs. He definitely didn't get his run support. Does he deserve his final record of 7-11? I don't think so. I think he pitched much better than that, but he got a hell of a lot of no decisions and he got a lot of no run support. And you can say, I think if you look at his resume, I think right now he pitched better than probably all the starters on the roster this year. I know a lot of people, shade other players like Soriano, and he was too up and down. I think Soriano has the best stuff, but he sure as hell didn't pitch like an ace. And I'm not saying that Kikuchi did either, but if you have to pick one out of the 5 guys who pitched primarily all year for the Angels, I have to say that you'd have to give it to Kikuchi. I mean, he was consistent, even in the games that, he gave up 3 runs early. I mean, he'd shut the door the rest of the way or allow minimal damage the rest of the way, and gave the Angels hundreds of opportunities to come back, and they couldn't do it. Herman says, crazy how a bad couple of weeks could make the difference. And that's the thing. If you look at the overall standings and where the Angels sit here today, if you look at, like, say, for instance, the wild card, because the division was out of whack, late July. But if you look at the wild card right now, because as they sit right now, they pretty much clinched last place. They're 2-8 in their last 10. While the Athletics are 7-3, and again they creep up and take the fourth place spot from the Angels. You look at what they've done so far, and in the wild card, had they won all those games a little bit earlier in the season, at least like 2 or 3 per month where, they kind of gave the game away or they just didn't score any runs when you had a dominant pitching performance by even a guy like Kowanowitz, who gave you a couple really good starts and you didn't get no run support for him. You look at what they did and you say, okay, give me, I don't know, 9 or 10 of those games, right? Let's be greedy and we'll take 11. So 11 more wins for the Angels right now would put them at 82 wins. That would put them a game and a half out of Houston as we speak. I much rather be sitting there a game and a half out of the wild card and trying to will the team into the postseason in the final 4 games than to be sitting hopelessly out of it right now with zero chance to make the postseason. Again, being disappointed. Again, hearing the same thing about Trout and everything else. It's depressing. It really is depressing. And then looking up at Oakland and every other team, it's something where you're like, damn. And you say, well, what could have did it for the Angels this year? And we talked about runners in scoring position. We talked about the fact that they strike out. They've set the major league record for most strikeouts by any team. And you say maybe it's that. It's a combination of that. I won't even throw the defense in there. I'll throw in some bad pitching in there a little bit. But if you got to look at what killed the Angels, it's the run differential. Straight up. And that has to go with walks, too many strikeouts, double plays, not bunting, not sacrificing, and just swinging for the fences. They are minus 151 runs. So they have scored 662 to tonight's to the overall 813 they've given up. If you just flip the script to a team that's in the lead in the wild card with 89 wins, the Cubs are plus 130. So that just tells you if you score more, you're going to win more. There's no team that's in the wild card race or in a wild card position or even a division with a minus plus, with a minus plus minus run differential. There is no other team in the standings whatsoever that has. Well, actually, I'll take that back because they've made it up. That is the shit fucks are a -2. So that's the only team -2. So basically even. But if you look at everybody else, plus 57, plus 152, plus 114, plus 47. The -2 being the shit fucks. You have plus 66, the Tigers, plus 1, the Royals, plus 76, the Mariners, plus 7, the Astros, plus 81, the Rangers, plus 131, the Phillies, plus 51, the Mets, plus 175, the Brewers, 130, the Cubs, plus 31, the Reds. Then the Dodgers are plus 125, plus 66, Padres, plus 30, Diamondbacks, plus 13. At least the Angels aren't the Rockies, minus 412. And even though they are minus 412 in the run differential, they gave up 1,000 runs. Yes, they've scored 589. They've given up 1,001 runs. And still, that team took 2 out of 3 from us. And still, we struck out more times than they did. That to me is insane. Insane how we still can top their worst. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, but it is what it is. I mean, this team is crazy. What do you think about next year's Angels? Boy, we are way too far removed from finishing out this season and all the off-season stuff that's going to take place. We don't even know if we're going to be playing in a stable stadium. We don't know if we're going to have the same owner. We could have the same owner. We could have the same jackass people in play to screw things up. We don't know. The only thing I could tell you right now is that, there's going to be some change or at least some shakeup. And I know we're going to have a new staff. I know at least, I'm hoping they fire some more people from upstairs. But we'll see. Tyler brings up a point. He says, do you have more confidence in the pitching or position prospects in the farm? They'll only get us. I think we have better hitters than what we're given at the major league level, which means I think they've turned over a lot of guys who had good qualities and we've had firsthand information that they tell them to do different down in the minors than what they do up here. And it's screwed with their mentality. That's screwed with their habits. I think they have really good hitters. This team is really, if they wanted to, it can be built on speed and contact and would be a very scary team. And I think the only guys that you would have swinging for the fences at that point, if you did it right, would be Adele, Taylor Ward, and Mike Trout. Everybody else would be straight up contact and speed and sacrifice. There is no need for any of these other guys to be swinging for the fences. And that's what's got to change. And you have so many other guys that are coming up that are contact guys that could really do some damage. And then on the base pads, it could be a fast team to steal a lot of bases. Pitching wise, we've had Corey come on, or a couple other guys come on here and say, "Hey, man, we got guys who can pitch. They've got good stuff, and they can, and we can represent pitching wise too." The problem is, again, they have terrible, terrible, terrible coaching and analytics up here that just screw everything up. So that's why there needs to be a complete and utter change. We already talked about that earlier. Grill Master 785. I think Corey's bringing that up too. That's what the initial lawsuit that was filed. That's what I was talking about earlier. The initial lawsuit that was filed by the Skaggs family. They were seeking $245 to $265 million in damages to the Angels organization, which would be charged to Artie Moreno, obviously. However, the fact that it has been years and they have put this through all kinds of legal gymnastics on Artie's side and pushing the issue and backing it up year after year, backing it up. Well, the Skaggs family decided, like Grillmaster said and Corey said in the comments, to throw the book at freaking Artie. They're going the maximum, which is $785 million. Do I think he'll wind up paying that out? No. I think he's probably going to go at a limit, or they're going to get it talked down to about $500 million. That's still a lot of money. So if you're thinking $500 million going to the Skaggs family, it would then come down to, does he have to lump sum it all to them at once, or is it paid over a few years? How's that going to work out? So that could be, he could buy some time with that. But when it comes to the audit, though, that's the one to look for again, which is down the stretch here. It's going to take some time. Everyone's got to be patient. It's not happening tomorrow. There's no new information. The only new information that's going to come with any kind of change is going to be the audit, and it's going to be moved in by the city, and the city's going to make that determination when they want to go in there. They've got the green light after, I think it's October 22nd. I want to say it's somewhere mid-October, where they can basically drop in whenever they want to and assess the stadium and take as long as they need to assess the stadium. So they could be doing some drilling to look underground to see how everything's holding up a lot. That's what's going to change the scene and possibly the future of the Angels. If they find a lot of damage, if they find that it's unsafe with today's regulations, because again, this stadium has been put into what is it called? Earthquake preparedness, or as far as being prepared to withstand an earthquake, to the standards of 1998, not 2026 or 25. So you're talking about 27 years of new laws, rules, and regulations in a state that loves to make up new laws, rules, and regulations. Why do you think you see all these freeway overpasses getting new retrofitted, everything? Because they're anticipating the big one. When they did the remodel of Anaheim Stadium, they said, listen, this thing almost fell to pieces when we had the Northridge Big Bear earthquake in 94, or the Northridge quake. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Landers Big Bear. But when they had the Northridge quake in 94, that, did some pretty good damage to the stadium. And so they knew already at that particular time. Anaheim Stadium needed a facelift to start, and then it also needed to be retrofitted. So Disney flipped the bill for that. If you think about it, Disney really flipped the bill for Artie to put on cruise control for the next 25 years. However, now's the time to pay the piper. And now, again, if it's all on him to take care of it, if that loophole is there, which it's supposed to be, that is going to be at least $1 to $2 billion worth of renovations to a stadium that is super old. And at that point, you could even entertain the fact of, man, should we build on another site? Maybe it won't cost as much. But then again, you are in California. I think those days are done as well. It's going to cost no less than no less than $3 billion for a brand new stadium, state of the art, and then maybe $4 billion if you're buying new land. So let's say if the Angels move to Irvine, that would cost them, to buy the land now. They could have got it at a rate of about $256 million back in the day. It was offered to Artie, and he said no. Where those blimp hangars were at, he was offered that land, and he said no. So because it was worth more than the other one. So with that being said, nowadays that land's twice to three times the value. So he might be paying $700 million just for the land. And then you have to talk about 2 to 3, maybe $4 billion for a new stadium. It just makes sense that if he's going to hold on to the team and he has to flip the bill, it would be to hold on to the Angels. But then his bottom line is done. So he spent all that money. How's he going to get it back? He's definitely not going to spend towards the team. He's definitely not going to spend towards anything else. He's got to be Mr. Tightwads even more. So that is going to be very, very interesting to see if the Angels are going to, or if the city of Anaheim sticks it to him. And if it works out the way I hope it does, we're talking about sayonara possibly to Artie Moreno. And boy, oh boy, I don't know how to celebrate that other than possibly going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. I mean that would probably be your best bet, including mine. Let's just do it, like put some body paint on, some Angels body paint, and go streaking. Because happy days are here again. I think we'd have to play that song in the background. Because damn, a lot of people are really, really ignorant. And I'm not talking about you guys and gals here listening. I'm talking about the idiots that listen to Locked On Cox. They literally say, well, what if we get another owner just like Artie? Again, bullshit. You mean to tell me, let's just say you come up on $50,000 to buy the pickup truck that you've always wanted, raised, maybe it's even $60,000 to $70,000. Are you going to let your daughter, son, wife, or husband drive that truck after maybe it took you forever to get that money to pay that sucker off in full? Like all of a sudden you just throw down cash. That's your truck. That's your baby. That's your dream truck. Are you going to let just anybody drive it? No. Are you going to let it get dirty and have get dusty, and then when it drizzles it really looks grimy and dirty? Are you just going to let the cart at the shopping center run right into it and leave a scratch or a dent? No. You're going to lick that sucker clean. You're going to wax it. You're going to wash it. You're going to take care of it. You're going to put money into it. You're going to make sure that sucker smells great all year long. Hell, you might not even fart inside the truck because you're like, no, I can't defile this sucker, right? And even if it's not a truck and it's like a muscle car, you're going to take care of it like it's your baby, probably better than your kid. It's your dream car. So a new owner obviously is going to come in here and be like, no, that's my baby. I've always wanted a professional team. That's my chance to put my legacy in this city, in this state, as an owner of a major league team. I'm not going to sit here, pay all my fucking work, half my profits or the hard-earned money through my companies, through whatever capital I built for the team just to sit there. That's why that argument of, what if we get another Artie? No, we're not going to get another Artie. I guarantee you, look at all the new owners that have come in to buy franchises. Now, have they succeeded and won championships? No, but look what Ballmer did with the Clippers. Brand new stadium, out of Staples, state of the art. These guys fly luxury. He's paying high bills for, luxury tax for the Clippers. He's got them marketed good. Look at Cohen in New York. And he's at least put winners on the field. He's gotten the most high-priced guys. Every new ownership that comes in will make a difference, will not be that traditional, oh, I'm just happy to own a team. This is a tax write-off. This is a money laundering scheme. I'm just, they're not, the days of the Artie Moreno owners are over, is what I'm trying to say. So when you get new owners that come in, Stan Kroenke takes the Rams to the Super Bowl. Stan Kroenke takes the Avalanche to a Stanley Cup. Stan Kroenke takes an MLS team to the championship. I think it was MLS. Maybe it's another team over in Europe or whatever. But you get what I'm saying. These new owners come in and they automatically want to make a difference. They want to get a championship. So Josh, the Halo Brothers kid, I'd listen to the show if that was the case, because that would be good content, actually. Dude, Josh always coming in with the dingers. So yeah, that's the goat hat. It needs to be permanent. Maybe I'll keep it on here. Your thoughts on Guzman, the kid that we just called him. Side note on Guzman, I think he would be a great leadoff guy. But again, you got to take that whole mentality of stop swinging for the fences, kid. Keep making that contact. Utilize those legs. Get on base in front of Shonowell. Then let either Taylor Ward or Joe Adell in the 3 spot bring you home. I can't deal with Trout there anymore. Trout has got to be demoted in the lineup. And he's got, again, we've got a few guys in the minor league system that are just like Guzman, that are diamonds in the rough. We got Nelson Rada. But again, you got to freaking utilize what makes them so great, which is their speed and their contact. Let's lay off these guys and not get the Gooby disease and fungus on them. Don't let Gooby get a hold of him and say, hey, you know what song you got to listen to, kid? By the Rolling Stones. Can't get no satisfaction unless you hit home runs. That's not how it goes, sir. That's how I say it. You don't need Gooby saying home run, home run, home run. You don't need that mentality. I love those kids the way they are right now. Let's utilize what got them to the show. Ask ChatGPT if Artie is a piece of shit. See what it says. I should. But getting back to it, this franchise, if sold, will go to a very high bidder. Will go to a guy with deep pockets or a group with deep pockets. And that's what you got to hope for. Owners are nice that have deep pockets. Would I love for the Samuelis to buy the Angels? Yes. However, they got a lot to deal with right now. They got a lot going on. They're trying to make the big old OC vibe. They're trying to do all that stuff, right? And God bless them. I think they're going to reach their goals. I think eventually you'll see the Ducks in the postseason. Eventually you'll see the Ducks competing for a Western Conference championship. But I think one team at a time for a family or a couple like the Samuelis. If you get a corporation in here, a group that will have the city's best interest, the team's best interest, and also the fans' best interest in mind, with deep pockets for several people to not only make if you have just one person at the helm, which is Artie Moreno, and he's got no baseball knowledge, he thinks he knows it all. And you may come up with a better idea, but he's going to shoot it down because he didn't think about it and think of it. You're in a bad spot. And that's what we got with Artie Moreno. But if you get a group together and one of them is outspoken, but he's outruled by the other 3 or 4, chances are you tend to make better decisions when you put it to vote. And that's why the Dodgers are in a better position, because they have several people in that group and they sit down and they discuss things for what's best for the team. There may be a couple people in that group that say, hey, I think the Dodgers should be more aggressive at the trade deadline. But then 4 or 5 other people say, hey, you know what? We have just as much a stake in this team as you do, and we don't want to mortgage the future. We feel that some of these players are going to come through the pipeline. They're going to be ready, and they're going to be guaranteed not miss candidates in this lineup or this rotation or this bullpen. And they talk sense into the other 2 guys who are just wanting to make a move. And maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. But the point being is you have someone to step in and say, hey, slow your roll. Let's think about this first as a group. Let's weigh our options. Let's see if that's the right move or not. That to me works more like a democracy, like a, like, hey, we're all going to put this to vote. We're going to work together to have the bet what's best for the team. When you have one owner who just has it on his mind that he knows what's best, see, the other owners, they can walk the walk. They could be your social media darlings like Cohen. They could be on TV and get the interviews like Ballmer. But in the end, does Ballmer make the moves? No. Does Kroenke make the moves? No. Does Cohen make the moves? No. Does he get asked about finances? Yes, all those guys do. But in the end, what they do is they hire the best people to run their organization. They put the right team in place to run the organization, if that's the case, if it's not just one guy. And they sit back there and they trust. Now, do they hover around that person or those person's shoulders? Yes. But are they interfering? Have you ever heard of anything bad about Kroenke? Have you heard anything bad about Ballmer? Have you heard anything other than Cohen being on social media too much? That's it. That's all we're asking for. Moreno, no matter what he does to try to get on your and my good side, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. His time is done. He's fucked up so many things. The best thing for him to do right now, bow out and sell the team. Because at this moment, there's nothing he can do outside of winning back-to-back world championships or building a team that wins 2 world championships to get any of us to start coming around on him again. There is nothing that he could do. He literally would get my respect, and I hope yours, if he were to just admit that he was wrong and say, you know what, I have to sell the team. What's best for this community of Anaheim, Santa Ana, Los Angeles, Southern California, Riverside, Newport Beach, Huntington Beach, whatever area roots for the Angels, I need to do what's best for them and these fans that spend their hard-earned money, and I need to sell the team. I am not the answer, but I want to find the answer. Dude, in a perfect world, if he did that, I'd give him a standing ovation. I'd be like, you know what? I talked a lot of shit about you, but you can admit that you're wrong. That is a man. I'd build a statue for him right then and there. You forgot China. But this team could be good again if that was an option. Tyler says, I think Kroenke is my favorite. David Mershon is another guy like Guzman and Rada. Contact and speed, good defense. Been hurt though, but again, that's what we have in this farm system. We have pitchers with stuff. We don't utilize them right. They only can go 1 inning. We baby them when they're up here. We use them in non-traditional spots that they're used to, like bullpen work instead of starting, or starting instead of bullpen. So when it comes down to it, we're fucking with these guys before they even can get their sea legs. So I think what you need to do again, if this team's going to have any chance of winning, you play to the strengths. You've drafted speed and contact. Use it. Because again, we don't need strikeouts. I'm tired of strikeouts. See, this is where I disagree. PS3 says, ain't nobody want to buy a dump of a franchise with the whole legality issues he's facing regarding Skaggs. But see, he's dealing with that on a personal level, PS3. So if he were to sell the team right now, someone would have to take on the renovations and that kind of money. Now, that's the other option. He could sell it right when they put the price tag on what he needs to do. If it's too much for him to lose, well, then might as well cash out, sell the franchise, and let somebody else deal with it. I'm telling you, look, there is a whole ass group that is foaming at the mouth to purchase the Tampa Bay Rays. And you would think, why would they buy the Rays? Because they already got a place and they've already got a deal for a franchise, Orlando. There is owners, plenty of people who would die to have a team right now. They just, again, you got to know how to run it. Like, there's no shortage of people that would love to buy this franchise. Trust me. There's no shortage. There could be way more groups, way more people just waiting to hear the news. And especially in a LA market, which is not LA, but you get my drift. There will be a plenty of suitors. Plenty of suitors. It's just, is it going to happen or not? Are the right cards going to fall for us to get what we want? I need a drink of something. I'm very thirsty. And once again, if you've got that thirsty problem on this Saturday at Brewheim, one of our sponsors is going to have discounted pints. We're going to have cornhole. We're going to have a couple giveaways of a couple autographed baseballs like this right here. And we're going to have a live pretty much talking about the season, final post game roundtable with the Halo boys and a few others. And that's going to be this Saturday before the game at 3 p.m. And there's going to be a pizza truck there. Also, on the 25th of October is when we're going to be doing our next softball game. So a lot of people turned out for our softball game. We really appreciate that. We got another one right down the mix. Wilbur, my man, says spritz o'clock, and we'll hit him up with some spritz o'clock so I can have a spritz myself.
Yeah! I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Spritz o'clock, angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Saucy, my boy, right there. Angels Suck on X says, respect to you still having a post game. Thank you, sir. Did you get the poster? No, I did not. Saucy, I did not go tonight. But I will be there on Saturday. Strange says, Halo's win and Gooby's tan is insanely bright. D's nuts. It's been bright all season, especially if you've seen him in person. Good God, does he have a freaking tan? It's crazy, dude. It almost looks like a spray on tan. Where the hell is D's nuts thing again?
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
Artie Sucks says that's sad they benched Mikey on his calendar giveaway. I don't know if that was benched, dude. I really don't know. Strange says I cringe every time I see Randazzo pig out on guacamole. He's fat. They do eat way too much in the booth.
This fat son of a bitch is gonna drown us all out. It's gonna calm down, okay? All right. He's fat.
Also, Raleigh did hit his 60th home run. Also, Demetrio says, Todd, your Johnson accent on the crime pod has me laughing. I appreciate that. We got to get back to that, dude. I seriously have dropped the ball on that whole crime pod, which I really wanted to have in the forefront. But man, oh man. Right now it's top of the 11th. The Doyers are tied with the Diamondbacks. Doyers are threatening, though. You have, as much as I hate the Mermaids, Raleigh is got to get the MVP. He should. Dan Rio says Artie might be worth $5 billion if he sold everything liquid. What he has on hand. That's what I'm saying. Like it's just better for him just to sell, dude. It really is. Who would you like to pick up in the off season? It's way too early for that, and honestly, we don't have much out there free agency wise. It's sad to say this is not the year to need free agents, and of course we need free agents. But Kikuchi had a lot of walks too. It's like traffic's was on the bases. I didn't say I agree with you, Tamir 20. He did not have the greatest season, and we'll get into that. Dodgers just scored. That's weak. Hopefully Diamondbacks can tie it up or take the lead in the bottom of the 11th. But yeah, you have Kikuchi. I think he could be a lot better moving on, but we'll see. But he did throw too many walks this year. Kyle Tucker is an angel, and Bo Bichette. I don't know about that. Strange says, I'd rather roll with Kikuchi instead of Anderson. Me too. I'm ready to troll Roger this weekend. You got to troll him Friday because that dipshit doesn't work weekends. So Friday, get on AM 830, and we are going to definitely screw that guy over by getting on there. Let me get the official number here for you so that let's see, AM 830 phone number. Let's see, here it is. Okay. So the number is 714-283-830. So that shows you how long it's been since I've called. I think when I used to call, it was 877-830-830. So this Friday, when he starts to take phone calls after, hey, I got a long monologue, as we wrap up the final week of the season, I want everyone to call in and just troll the shit out of him. And he should know if we start quoting him or if you can pull this soundbite yourself.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
We got to tell him that. We got to say, when does the season start? And just keep asking him, call back with different names or on a different phone number, and just make him not take phone calls. That's the goal. Saucy says next year's team is going to blow it again. Dog shit. Read that one already by Grillmaster. Jake Dog says, let me guess, Artie is going to have to sign 2 mid-level starters who haven't been good since COVID and a random utility hitter and call it an off season. We've seen that song and dance the last couple seasons. I still would like to get, what is it, Bieber? I know a lot of us have on the network. So can we knock the Astros out next series and do something positive for once? That's the last question of the season, because they do have an opportunity to F over the Houston. The Angels is the 5th oldest stadium in the league. Hey, Todd, how's the jerseys? I might go to the game on Friday. Might. I'll let you know if anything Saturday, if you can make it out there. I'll definitely have the one. The other one's in transit. It should be here tomorrow or Friday, and hopefully that's what goes on with that. Eric says we won and no one gives a shit. It's that time of year. My boy Jesus says light that baby up. Todd Fox, Artie Moreno is screwed. He has to sell the team ASAP. I hope so. Also, why can't Artie have heart problems instead of Washington? Tyler says Kikuchi, Soriano, Detmers, Dana, Clausen without free agents is still a decent rotation. Detmers will be in the rotation next year from what I heard. I just don't know if there's anything out there for us with Artie's legal issues. Well, yeah, if he holds on to the team in legal issues, plus he could get out of it and not give us anything if he skates out of the audit. If he's stuck with the audit, then we're in good shape. I will go streaking if Artie Moreno goes wrong. He will be screwed. And also, there is a lot of billionaires that would buy the LA team. Absolutely. J-Dog says, if Artie sells, I'll celebrate like we won the World Series. I read that one earlier by Josh. I don't think AI could come up with a better jean jacket over the pink tank top. Yeah, you mean you mean these guys?
Oh my God!
By the way, self-admitted, not audio, but I have the audio, but I don't have it uploaded on here. But he worked on the Ellen show. So I don't even have to say it. I mean, it speaks for itself. I don't have to say anything else. He worked on the Ellen show for quite some time before moving to the SoCal area. So how long exactly have you been an Angel fan? Not exactly a long time or a long pedigree. I wondered why they never talk about their favorite teams from the early 2000s or before that, the 90s, like most fans. But I digress. Also, for me, if Artie Moreno and the Angels case goes wrong, they will sell and a real owner will show up. That would be awesome. PS3 says, oh, I already read that one right there. Dan Rio says, I want Kroenke. Duke can have both my favorite teams. Even the Samuelis haven't won a cup yet, though. Even though Strange says, I think Artie is going to try to milk it and hope that the team is a contender for at least a wild card for next season, and then he could reassess the sell for a higher price. That is true as well. There's definitely options to him to delay payments. Every time I hear his name, I think sweaty coochie. Haha. There's so many things we could do with that name, and he can do. The AI fans look so happy. J Dog says, "You just know Artie is gonna milk every possible Trout 400 home run giveaway he possibly can." And that's true. I mean, he already came out there with a banner, the hat, all this merchandise, right? And again, that 400 home run is so weak, so weak. Um, this should have happened like 3 years ago. To be honest with you, it shouldn't be happening now. Saucy says, "Are you going to be at the game Friday?" The incredible jersey with Pachanga on the back. No, I doubt I'm going to be there Friday. I might just go if the jersey comes in, so I can give it off to my boy Dan. Been a while since we had some good coochie, says a lot of us. Uh, A says, "No, I think the time has come. We will be free from the Artie rain." So that's what we're hoping for. Just like I said, I want to jump for joy, but I want to jump for joy when it happens. I don't want to be disappointed. So I'm holding myself. I'm saving myself for the right time. Nolan says, "Could we lose the Angels if a group were to buy this team? If Artie thinks Anaheim isn't a big market team, that would make a group think it is." We're in LA market technically. They get LA revenue sharing. Nashville, again, this team is locked in till 32. Then you got to think about there will be a franchise already in Nashville. There will be a franchise in either Portland, uh, Montreal, somewhere, right? There's going to be two franchises, plus Tampa's going to move to Orlando. So the league isn't going to want any more relocation, and it costs a lot of money to relocate a team. So at that point, you're looking at, okay, the Angels have always been here in LA. They're not going to be like St. Louis and the Rams and moving every 5 years. The Angels are going to be here for the good. So whoever's going to buy them, they might move them to Irvine. That might, I mean, if they can't get a sweet deal from Anaheim. But again, for them to be moved out of California, it's not, I don't see it happening. I really don't. I really don't. I moved to Arizona and still have my 909 number. I'm gonna call Lodge. Hell yeah. Cool. Let me love you, love time. We should boycott if Artie is still owner. I would love to. Is that dude tranny plus pink blouse, jean jacket transitioning? Possibly. You make the call.
Oh my God!
I don't even want to ask what those things are behind them. I mean, I have no idea what they are, but they're not shaped the right way, if you know what I mean. Steve Ballmer would be a great owner. Look at what he's turned around the Clippers. Now, he's been asked, over there on Instagram or TikTok, he's been asked if he wants to buy the team. And he says no. He said no to baseball. A says we need an owner like him, though, who is invested. Absolutely. Who are the candidates if Artie does John Jacob from the LA Times? Again, Corey, there is a bunch, and I've been told that there is a lot of people that are in the running, but we don't know the names. They don't want to reveal it because it might hurt their chances at getting another franchise, or that falls out of favor, like Pittsburgh or another franchise that wants to like a brand new franchise. Because not only are their owners chomping at the bit to get a franchise like the ownership in Orlando, there's an ownership in Nashville, there's an ownership in Montreal, and you have several independent companies as well, and corporations and groups and solo billionaires who want a freaking Major League Baseball team. But they cannot reveal their hand until the team goes up for sale. So that's why I keep saying, when people keep asking me, who's a front runner? Who's a front runner? There could be guys, because they revealed their hands the last time, that already put the team up for sale that we know about. But we still don't know who are the other people in that room that outbid the guy from the LA Times. There was a bid that was higher than the Golden State Group as well. So again, we won't know until it actually goes through the process. So that's again, you just got to be patient. And the first things first is he's got to get fucked in the ass. I hate using that term, but he does. And once he does with the Skags, and once it happens with the audit, then we'll know for sure. Which I would say 10 out of 10. There's no way he could hold on to the team without either saying, "Hey, I'm not selling the team, but I'm going to sell half of the team." So we can get, other people in here. You know what I mean? Like he could turn it into a group. That's worst case scenario. Best case scenario, he's like, dude, this team is not worth my troubles. And it's better for me to walk away right now before I have to do anything. That's the best case scenario. So that's what I would wait on. Moist. Eric says the LA Angels of Alaska, Saigon, China. Tamir 20 says, what time does Roger go on? Roger goes on at, I want to say 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock on Friday, because that will take you into the pregame show. So Roger will be on there doing his stupid shtick at 3 o'clock. So again, the number is 714-830-830. I think, let me double check that again, because I already forgot. My dumbass forgets numbers so easily. Yeah, no, 714-2. See, I'm glad I looked. 714-2-830-830 to call that asshole and ask him, is there still plenty of baseball left, like that baby up says. Absolutely. You got to ask him how much season is left, and let's see if we can get him to say.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
That would be game 160. If we call him on Friday, that'll be game 160 of 162. There's a lot of it. And the best one would have been able to call him on Sunday, but he won't be in there on Sunday. And nobody's going to be watching this shit show on Sunday. And Saturday will be at the Bruheim, and he doesn't work weekends. So the best you can get is probably Trent Rush. And what does Trent Rush know? It'll go right over his head because he's too busy thinking about O'Hoppy's nipples. Also, they would probably move if a new ownership renovates the stadium. Yeah, they would not move. There's no way you would move if you renovate. I've been all in for Artie to bounce. My only worry is that the Angels moving from Anaheim. They won't move. Trust me. They will not move. That is not in the plans. Again, the biggest mistake the NFL ever did was to let the Raiders and Rams leave and lose the Los Angeles market. They know now, even though that you get more fans showing up for the road, more road teams for the LA teams, both of them, the Rams and Chargers, get out fandomed by other fans. You still sell that place out. You still have a huge following. You still have that LA market invested in those teams. So whether they're haters or believers of those teams. So again, having the Angels in this market is crucial for MLB. You don't want the Angels moving to Oklahoma. You don't want them moving to Orlando. Trust me, with a realignment, there's no way the Angels are going to move. They have to be in the West. So they're not going anywhere. Trust me. They are not going anywhere. So you don't have to worry your pretty little heads about that. Also, imagine if he sells, but part of the agreement is that Artie's still in control of baseball operations. That would be bad too. There would be no silver lining to that bullshit at all. Yeah, that would really, really suck. Gotta say this right here. Shout out to the Heedy OGs as we're wrapping up another season of Angels baseball. But don't fret. We got Ducks hockey coming right around the corner. We've got the Unfiltered Sports Football podcast that we run every Tuesday. So if you haven't checked that out yet, check it out. It's on this YouTube channel. You can watch the NFL games. We go at 7:30 every Tuesday. We talk recaps of the NFL, and this week we did a recap of Week 3, and we got into our picks for Week 4 already. Tomorrow's Thursday night game. My Seahawks are playing, and then as far as hockey's concerned, we will be doing the last preseason game with the Ducks, and then opening night in Seattle versus the Kraken. We will be live at Bruheim doing a watch party, and you'll be able to see your first Mighty Ducks, whatever you want to call them, their first post game on the Heedy post game network of baseball and hockey now, the home of Ducks hockey. So, man, I'm excited. I'm super excited about the Ducks start here on the Heedy Baseball Network, which is the Heedy Sports Network now. So yeah, it's going to be really cool right there. And see, Vote for Bonds likes the football show as well. So we got a lot of content on here. So it's not all doom and gloom. And obviously, if any breaking news were to happen with Artie, which there should be, if any free agent news, like every other season, we break into regular scheduled programming, whether it's alive to report on who got signed or traded, fired or hired. We do that. So you're going to get your Angels baseball, dose of sports talk year round. And we're just not going to be doing it every day. And we're going to be giving you updates as we go along, but we're going to have Ducks hockey to fill the time along with football. So we hope that you guys and gals appreciate the work right there, because we love your comments. We love every one of you. The shout out again, what Mateo said, to all the OGs that have been here since day one, and all the ones that continue to come on here on TikTok, the newbies, and everybody else that's on Instagram. We really appreciate that. The people that come out and support us, like at the softball, we had a big turnout and we had a lot of fun. So we're hoping that we could do that again on the 25th of October, and hope family can come down and have a good time at Bruheim. It is a family restaurant slash bar. It's a brewery house, but I mean, it's not one of those 21 and over, you can't bring your kids. There's games there. There's tic-tac-toe. We're going to have our freaking, they got chess, they got board games, you got books. Aaron, I wish Golden Road. I tried Golden Road last year before I switched from Noble over to Bruheim. And man, it is jumping through hoops. They have 3 corporate offices that have to approve you. We got approved by 2. We did not get approved by New York. And it's that type of deal, because I love Bruheim and their setup. I liked Noble before, but Noble has nothing on Bruheim, and Bruheim has nothing on Golden Road's outside patio. My dream broadcast would be to do an outside patio broadcast from Golden Road on a before a game or even after one, because the amount of people that come through there is great. What is a place called? Haven't been yet. It's Bruheim, Aaron. It's on the backside of I have the address up here. Hold on, let me get the address. I have it on our social media here too. Let me see. I had it earlier here. Bruheim is on 1931 East Right Circle on Anaheim, and basically where it's at, it's off of Catella and God, what's the main street right there? State College, I believe State College. Yeah, it's right there. It's a nice spot. Trust me, it's a really really nice spot. Leaf, congrats right there by Tyler. Congrats from the Heating Network again. Leaf is all the way up in Seattle. He's a Mariners fan, and I will say this: Leaf has had every opportunity to shit on the Angels, but he has followed us and has been a real cool guy at that. And I give him props. He's stuck with the Mariners too, and he's been supportive of the Angels, even though we're in his division. And I will have to say, on behalf of Halos in the Infield, you beat the Astros. Fuck yeah. And congratulations. The Mariners were a tough team. They did all the right things. A little jealous. You got DePoto pulling the strings and getting you guys exactly what you need, but you got decent ownership up there. Beautiful ballpark. And a very competitive team. And all the best of luck for the Mariners in the postseason. Trust me. And I echo Tyler's sentiments, man. Congrats, man. And live it up, man. Throw down a couple beers and then pour one out for the homies down here in SoCal. We have nicer weather. We have a shit team and a shit owner. So hopefully that changes too, because I think the AL West would be much, much nicer if we were competing with you guys. But man, congratulations. What a season. And we would love to eliminate the Astros, which, again, with all the Artie talk, is something that is still possible. In the next 3 games after this last Royals game tomorrow, the Angels have a 3-game set with the Astros. The Astros are currently a game out. Did they win tonight? Let me see. I did not see the scores. Let me go down here. Looks like the stupid Dodgers avoided okay, so the Astros lost. They got shut out again by the Athletics. So now let's see. That will put them at, I want to say, in the wild card 2 back. Let me double check. No, that puts them a game out because Detroit lost. So they are a game out. So the Angels can possibly fuck them over, if they were to take 2 out of 3. So, woo, man, I'm hoping the Angels can man up and play some good baseball, but we'll see. Aaron also says, I'm tired of this, man. I haven't seen my favorite team in the playoffs since I was 9 years old. And even then, it was a quick exit. I feel for you, Aaron. I've said it before. It's been a decade of futility. I'm really sad about that whole thing. I really want the Angels back in the postseason, and step one would be getting rid of that piece of shit Artie Moreno. I think that would invigorate this entire franchise, because I think for the first time in a long time, it would be like, hey, we're going to do something different. And it wouldn't be what Eric says, unfinished business, because that's what he said. I got unfinished business. What has he finished other than finishing the Angels' playoff chances and hopes every year? Tigers can't stop losing. Yeah, boy, oh boy, what the fuck has happened to the Tigers? Okay, Mateo, I'll read it only because your team won. He says, what's the difference between a pickpocket and a peeping Tom? A pickpocket snatches your watch. A peeping Tom watches your snatch. Okay, see, that one's better. That one's better. I'll give you that one. Aaron says, have you seen the updates on the Skaggs lawsuit? Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. It went from 200 and originally 35 to 65 million dollars to now 785. He's not going to pay that out. I think you're going to look at about, even if the judge finds everything in favor of the Skaggs, 500 million. I think you're going to get $500 million, and that's a lot of money to the family. Will that bring back Tyler? Hell no. And the Skaggs family is going to donate a good portion of that to the foundation for Tyler Skaggs, and they will. They are good people, and they're going to do that. Because that's what Tyler would have wanted. And then, like I said, the audit's another. I mean, the Skaggs thing is a thorn in Artie's side. The audit could be an ice pick to the eyeball of Artie Moreno. I mean, that could finish that fucker off. And man, oh man, would that make me happy? Mateo says, hey Todd, I was just wondering, how did you become a Seahawks fan? Was your dad a Seahawks fan? Hell no. My dad's unfortunately a Packer fan who goes all the way back to freaking Bart Starr. I'm a Seahawks fan because my uncles on my mom's side all live up there in the Pacific Northwest. And my Uncle Bobby and Billy had freaking season tickets for every team. I forgot what they did for work, but they had good money, and they had the Seahawks, the Sonics, the Mariners, and I went up there and got to see all three of them. And I fell in love with I was already an Angel fan, so I never fell in love with the Mariners. So I poo-pooed that right away. But Seahawks became my team right off the bat. And then who could not just look at Sean Kemp gliding through the sky and not be a fan? Him and Gary Payton, shit, dude, those are my guys right off the bat, dude. Right off the bat. Supersonics for life. And since they're in Oklahoma, fuck Oklahoma. And so I don't root for the Thunder at all. I stopped watching basketball, to be honest with you. They don't play defense anyway anymore. Rather watch college basketball. But yeah, the NBA is dead to me. But and even if I was asked the other day, if the Sonics came back, would you root for the new franchise? No. NBA is dead to me. They turned their back on me. I turned my back on them. Fuck them. So yeah, it's been a fun season so far in football. It always is. The household with my dad, living with us, I brought him in the house. He's a Packer fan. My girl's a Niner fan. I'm a Seahawks fan. So we're always talking shit. So there's always something to be talking about. All right. So again, last update again. If you haven't heard, if you're just joining us right now, we got the Brewheim Tailgate, which is the final podcast of this season. It's the roundtable. You can get your comments and questions in if you're there live. Raffles. There's going to be fun, discounted beer prices, games for the kids. It's gonna be fun time for everybody. And then October 25th, those signups will be ready. I'll put the link out there, and you can join us for some more fucking softball. I can't wait. We had a fun time just last weekend. So with that being said, the Angels win tonight. I owe you guys and gals. Well, first off, I owe my boy Mateo
This fat son of a bitch is gonna try us all out. Calm down, okay? All right? He's fat!
So with that being said, and one more beautiful look at the Locked On Cox guys.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna hit us up with some Stukas, and we're out of here, baby. The Angels won, and finally we could tell the Royals.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!